think I'm ready to.
Well done. Right.
Can I have a chewing gum?
Of course you can. I don't know how stale they're going to be. Oh no, new packet. Right, what did we get up to last time? What do you remember? Do you want one or two?
One, please.
I'm not going to sit here chewing. It's annoying all the time for everyone else, bar from me. Right, what did we do last time?
Double roundabouts.
We did. How'd you get on with them, do you think?
The last couple of attempts were better.
It's getting better, isn't it? Do you think it's... Yeah, it's quite warm, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay, super. Do you think it's just a little bit of practice? Is there anything we can do to try and help all these scenarios and these situations?
No, I just need to do the observations more.
Rely on them?
Yeah.
I agree. Is there any particular subject that you wish to go off and have a little go at today? I know we did say, I think the lesson before last, that you fancy doing a little bit of park on the right.
Yeah.
We didn't do it.
I think we did that last lesson.
Did we have a little go?
No, I think we said we would do it last lesson.
We didn't.
No, I think we said that we would do it this lesson, last lesson.
Sound. Sounds good. Not a problem. Should we have a little go at that today?
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything that I can particularly help you with, do you think? Or if you think on how the lessons have gone over the past few, has there been anything sort of like new that
No.
there hasn't, is there? And that's the point that I'm sort of getting at, that people have their own little skills that they have to work on, and you've mentioned the observational stuff. I think the observational stuff just drops off a little when you get a bit scared, when it's more complex. So try and trust yourself today to get looking round. Is there anything else that's an Erin trait?
Looking at the floor.
Super. I think taking the position from the left is also something.
I do round corners quite well, don't I?
Okay. And anything with your hands today?
A bit snatchy, aren't I?
A little bit. And it's still a little tense. So these things just take a little bit of work. All right. Sounds good. I think we've got a little plan of where we're at. I don't think we need
to focus on.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything specific that we need to go off and target, but just those skills, I think. But park on the right. Sounds good. Any questions before we go? Ready to go?
Yeah.
If you need to stop again and sort your mirrors out, feel free. Go on. Oh, my mirror's all skew. And it's got a big fingerprint right in the middle of it. Nice job. Oh good. Obviously left turn, please. What were one of those things that you said you were going to try not to
Take
do?
my position from the left.
And not look.
At the floor.
Good. When you get a little moment, because there's a couple of little marks on the window, could you give it a wash, please? Thank you, Erin.
I did it right first time.
It might need a bit longer than that, but don't do it just yet, because there's stuff that we probably need to prioritise, isn't there?
Yeah.
Not the floor, remember. Not like this over the bonnet. Just watching your eyes there. They still do that a little bit down over the bonnet, rather than up and leaning to get your best view around. Nicely done. Good. Thank you.
Oh, he's parking down there.
Okay, good. Well done. That's why I said nothing. Let you work it out. Right turn at the end, please.
Oh, that wasn't good.
All right. You got it, which is fine. So well done, good. So if you do get a chance, don't spray the cyclists, but try and wash your window for a little bit longer because there's still a couple of little marks.
When you say wash it longer, does that mean just
hold it for longer? Left turn please over the top. I don't think we're getting that little mark off, don't worry.
I was still a bit wide then, wasn't I?
But you actually corrected it reasonably well. Well done. Good. That didn't feel right, did it?
Nope.
Well worked as well. And that was because your hand was loose. It was actually loose enough, however, to actually feel the incorrect gear. So, couple of good rescues there, Erin. Well done. Good. Nice. So, regarding that corner, you said you were a little bit wide, but what made you realise you weren't, or you were going wide and you corrected it? What helped?
Maybe the amount of steer I did. I don't know. I kind of just saw it.
You saw it where you looked?
Yeah.
Okay, so still pay a little bit more attention round that corner to the left. Do you remember how to wipe your window once if you want to get rid of the drips? Yes, you do. Well done. Fab.
Alright, should I? I'm going to go in by the black one unless he goes.
Okay, that's a perfect way of thinking.
Is he waiting? Oh, okay.
Leave him enough space to get past then. Stop, Erin. Stop, Erin. The closer you get in there, the harder it is, and you were continuing. That's okay, buddy.
I get what you mean there. There's enough.
Good. Well done. Do you notice and how slow you actually are there?
Yeah.
Wasn't down to you just being slow, it was down to how close you were to the park Volvo. So give yourself more space, yeah? Give yourself more room. What can you do now with the space? Yeah, good, well done. No issues with that, that's fine. Thank you very much, sir. I try and let you go as much as I can today.
That's fine.
Yeah? Just if you do make a little mistake today,
just forget about it.
Brush it off and just get on with the next thing.
Left?
We are, please, Erin. Yeah.
Will I get there?
Easy. It's an interesting question you just asked there.
Will I get there?
Where should you be trying to look more? Have you looked at the left curb at all?
No.
You need to, as you're doing this. You need to, as you're doing this. And you notice the good position that you actually took up to go round when you did look at the left curb.
So in order to correct my steering more, not correct it more, but spin it round more to the right so I can get straight again, is that just a matter of sliding the wheel more?
Yes. Remember to straighten up with the opposite side though if you can. Okay. But yeah, you have to change the speed of your steering to suit what you need to do, and with your hand still gripping quite a bit, that doesn't happen as readily as it probably should. All right, but that's a good little start. You know, the thing that's impressed me the most as well is the realization and the fixing of a few of your own mistakes. That for me is a good little start. Well done.
Straight or left?
Straight, please. Who's behind us, Erin? If that car behind had have been signalling left, would there been anything you could have done to try and help the scenario?
Go a bit closer into the thing.
Wasn't enough room.
Okay, so then no, really. Or
lane
position
change.
myself to the
lane change. You could have lane changed. If that car behind had have wished to turn left, you could have lane changed and allowed them. Yeah? Appreciate your surroundings and think on what you need to do, plan stuff. Okay. Go on, what were you saying?
And then as I say, the gear change still aren't smooth as I want them to be.
Quicker down, slower back up, and try and prep your hand a little bit. That's all. But
put it down there first.
Yeah, have your hand on it first. But a good little start. Well done. Good.
So that one's going to go then.
And And you showed appropriate caution. Well done, cracker. Nice mirrors, very good. If the roadworks were still up ahead, there usually would be a queue on this corner, so the taxi is braking. I'm going to gamble a little bit. We're just going to stay on the road.
Okay.
If we do have to have a little queue for a moment, so be it. But
it's practice, isn't it?
It is.
Haven't been in many queues.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting that as well. And there is a little bit of a queue, so we'll sort of help you out on what you were saying. I haven't been in many queues. Do you think driving instructors do that on purpose as well, to try and get
the most of their lessons?
Yeah, to try and keep the traffic and the road flowing. Because for me, I always think that if you're sitting in a queue, you're wasting a little bit. But are you totally?
Nope.
Now, the position that you've just taken up there was...
Oh.
Just fix it, Erin. Not third.
Sorry, man.
That's okay. The position that you took up there was too wide to the right hand side, and that's probably a little bit of a gamble there. Roll up now because you're on the crossing, Erin. Go reasonably close to the red one. Go reasonably close. That'll do nicely. Stop. Okay, so there's a lack of planning in both of those little situations. Let's have a little think about our move off first, and then we'll discuss them in a mo. Okay.
In situations like this, should I bother with the handbrake or just keep my foot on the foot brake?
What do you normally do?
I normally put the handbrake on.
And why is that a benefit?
Because it's more eco-friendly. Or the light.
It maybe will be as well if you took it out of gear, because the car would do its start, but it's a little safer as well, Erin. Okay, you're just still looking at the floor and the back end of that car. That's why your stops are all sharp, and that's actually what happened with the taxi that was turning right as well. You were staring at the back of him and following him. What position was he in?
I should have been in the left.
You should have been to the left.
Yeah.
Other cars around as well, if you take up that position, do you think they would have a think and a thought that you were potentially turning right?
They would.
Are people okay to come past you on the left when you're turning right as well? So you inadvertently could have made people come past you on the left just as you were moving forward there, just by your position. Well done. What about this scenario? What's best to do with this?
Oh, that man's gonna let them go.
Is the room clear of the junction past it?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, because that was the other little thing that you didn't do with the crossing. That clutch is too late still, and that's too close to the car. Where should you stop?
At 2 meters.
So you can see all of it.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're unsure that you've got enough room, still stopping at the correct distance, don't go past. And that's what happened at the crossing, wasn't it? You'll get blind people walking into the side of your car.
That would be very good, would it?
No. Okay. So there's a couple of little bits there. Again, observational stuff. Because your eyes are stuck in between you and the vehicle in front, it's then problematic. That adjust to the mirror is totally fine as long as it's done just.
And the red lights are still red.
Yeah. Okay, have you got any other little questions about anything
I
there?
understand.
Okay, look at this guy. Doesn't want to queue.
He's cool.
No, I'll correct you. He thinks he's cool. We're going to get to these traffic lights at the top and turn right, please. Okay. So you have to stop yourself.
You know, we're sorry to interrupt. You know, we're in a queue. Is this for temporary traffic lights or is it because of that?
Observe yourself. If you were further back, you'd be able to see more.
Ooh, that wasn't very good.
Nope. And it all came from you being too close, which all came from
Observation.
Looking at the floor. You don't need to look at the back of this red car to stop behind it, Erin. Look up at the lights and surrounding the junction, but stop so you can still see all of this. Perfect. Do you get it?
Mm-hmm.
You have to get your mindset in a different place with this. Yeah? It's always fear that pulls you back down in that little spot in front, and you have to trust your peripheral vision, because those instincts that you have naturally with a car and driving cause you problems when you go back to them, and it's a battle to get you away from them, isn't it, sometimes? But good, that's quite a productive little start, I think. A couple of little mistakes, but you understand them. There's nothing there that shouldn't be fixable quite soon as well, would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well done, nicely watched. What was wrong with the last start off? What were you lacking?
Power. How come the van's waiting but there's still traffic going? Is it because he's turning?
Correct. That's a filter lane.
This weather can't make its mind up, can it?
Nope. I think it's going to be like this today, isn't it? Showers and sunshine.
Sorry.
You've struggled with that all the way through, really, Erin, haven't you? Struggle with that.
Struggle
Use
with
the
what?
clutch.
Yeah.
You know what to do as well, but it's just something that makes you just launch it up all the time, doesn't it? Come on. Get working at those things yourself. Correct those things yourself. That's very good. That's superb. Couldn't ask for any more than that. You saw it really early, you checked, you even decided nicely whether or not that you needed a signal. I agree, you didn't, there was no one near you. Perfect. That was really good, well done.
Oh.
Not the handbrake before you stop, Erin.
Sorry.
You don't have to apologise.
Power.
Lack of planning, wasn't it, coming in? You're grabbing to do stuff with your hands rather than thinking about what could go on. Yeah? What's the danger, what's the problem of putting your handbrake on before you stop?
I don't know.
You can skid.
I can skid.
Yeah?
It's not good.
And also, you'll end up breaking the handbrake as well, because they're not designed to actually bring you to a stop. They're designed to hold you still. Yeah? Concentrate on your planning, concentrate on your braking and your feet. Yeah? Not your hands. Ahead as well, please. Not the floor, scan around. Look at the whole junction. Look at everything. Not the floor. Perfect. This little section to you. There's a little bit of planning that's required. What are you thinking?
Me? He's going to go in front of me.
Could the bus park?
Yeah.
Do you need to go out yet?
No. No.
No.
No.
No in a world. The bus isn't parking. Alright? Who's around you, Erin? Is there space to move around the bus if the bus was to park?
Yeah.
No, there's not. Not at the moment. Now there is. You have to be aware of it. And if you just slow down, remember, everyone else is going to be catching you up and you won't be able to get out. So you've got to think more and keep up with the flow and be aware more. Yeah, it's really important now. Come on, step it up. Let's get to this level. You need to get that test all sorted. Should we be catching these in front? The next set of traffic lights will turn left, please. Brake's the key. That gear wasn't perfect as well, should have been in second, but what we're going to do, we're going to find somewhere to park next to the curb on the right, please, Erin. Do you feel as though you can find a little time where you can get across? What position should you be in? You shouldn't be going out to that left or going to the left side. What was the gear like as well?
Not very good.
Doesn't really need it now, you've got enough momentum to roll. That's pretty good. You're getting quite close to that curb, Erin. Better get straight. Okay. All right.
The only issue was the gear and the positioning. So
Okay.
basically most of it.
No, not really. Just have a little think about that position a second.
I know what you mean. I should have been more to the right.
If you're going to turn right or move right or park on the right, you need to show people what you're doing. All right. And it's all down to these hands still. As soon as you went to put the right signal on, your hand grabs the wheel, and because you've got to put a right signal on, you've got to move that signal up. So because you grab the wheel, you hold the wheel, and you then put your hand below the signal.
Okay.
And what's that then just cause your car to do?
Go that way.
And it happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you've got to relax with these hands. All right, it's really important. Gears are still something that you've got to pay a little bit more attention to. The listening as you're coming into things still causes you to not get the correct gears sometimes, or the lack of listening coming in. All right, on that last corner it was a little bit rumbly, it was a little bit low in that gear. However, it did get round, and just the same as this scenario here, it would have been more flexible to be in second gear because you could have still gone at that same speed you wanted to go at, but you also had an opportunity to go slower if needed, which is really what's going on with the corner and the park. You have to have that gear flexible enough to do what you need to do. But the park itself was good. I like the gap that you planned. There was a car coming the other way and you nicely chose the gap after. Have a little look in your right mirror. How close are we to that curb?
Could be closer.
Not really, no.
Do you not reckon?
Not when you park, no. Are we within a gutter's width? Are we within that?
Yeah.
Okay. What you've then got to do once you've parked next to a curb on the right is reverse a couple of car lengths.
Why?
Because that's one of the exercises that they do on your test.
What, reverse?
So you pull up and park next to a curb on the right, like we've done. They then reverse a couple of car lengths, and then they're able to rejoin the traffic flow. And this is what we're going to do now.
Okay.
If we were jammed right up next to this curb,
It could go into the curb as soon as we start reversing if I look the wrong way.
if this is the curb here, if this finger is the curb and our car's here, if we were really close to it and you wanted to move away from the curb, you would steer away, but what would that do for this front of the car? It
would bring your bum out and then closer to the curb.
The front would go in,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? So the only way that you can actually get away from the curb, if you are jammed up next to it, is to move forward.
Move forward and then go out a bit and then
And
go
then
back.
reverse.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Does make sense.
Okay, super. So let's ask you that again. Have a look in your right mirror.
Yes.
If we're going to be reversing shortly, is there a little bit of room, a little bit of space for us to manoeuvre?
Yeah.
We're good. Where you are now is about right.
Okay.
Okay with that?
Okay.
So this reversing in a straight line, It's pretty simple. You've got to manage your gap and manage your space from the curb. We don't want to go towards it or away from it. We want to maintain it. You can leave the car in a moment because we're literally going to be reversing in a sec. If there's anyone within
Can I watch what they do?
they're not, yeah, of course, but they're not necessarily going to reverse, are they?
Oh, is that not what you have to do just if you're parking? Is this something they can ask you on a test? Oh, okay. I thought it's what you had to do.
No. It's in case you park in, and I don't see the point in this manoeuvre personally. All right, the reasoning behind it is people, or the DVSA say, well, if you're going to go to a shop there, park on the right, and then someone comes and parks here, you have to reverse back a bit to get a better view.
Yeah.
Me, I'd park over that side. And people say, well, what if you can't park over that side? Well, I'd go up the street, I'd turn round and come and park on this way.
So yeah, that's probably what I'd do as well.
I wouldn't park on the right hand side unless there was a dedicated parking bay like this, because this is out of the flow of the traffic, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, but there are issues with it. Even a dedicated parking bay, if this was at night, there's no in the world I'd get you to park here and keep your lights on, because your headlights are going to be facing towards the traffic, so you'd have to switch down to side lights or turn your lights off. You should really be parking those side lights on if you're going to be parked here. All right, so me, I don't agree with it. I don't see the point in it, but it is one of these things that you
could
need.
Come up.
Yes, so we need to know how to do it. So observational work before you reverse, you know about. I'm not going to say anything to you, but if anyone comes within a bubble, we're going to stop. And it's quite likely here with cars coming this way. So if cars come this way in this lane, they're quite close to us to then maybe want to park in here themselves. So it's probably a good idea that if we were reversing now with this car coming from ahead, you would probably stop when they get to this sort of distance, and you'd be waiting here for these. And then after the red van's pulled out, just get your wipers on as well, Erin. That's just once, remember, so doing it again, we'll only do it once again. That's wash.
Up.
There we go. All right, work it, process elimination. So now the Royal Mail van's finished, you'd be moving again. Does that make sense? If there's cars from the opposite side, some roads will be wide enough that you may decide that you'll go, well, I'm okay with them. If they're going to come across here, I'll keep watching them, but I'll still keep reversing. That's totally dependent on the situation that you're in. If it's a narrower street, maybe without a separated parking area, you may decide.
So say if it was like a street where houses are, where they have just
two-way road.
lane, yeah.
You may decide to wait for them as well in that scenario. But for me here, with this dedicated parking bay,
you just wait for them.
and I'd probably carry on unless there was an issue with them back there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How does this rain affect us as well?
It won't be an issue.
It shouldn't be. Just go a little slower if needed. If you need to go a little bit slower because your view's not as good, your view's not as good. But you honestly don't need to screw your face up, Erin. All right, you're okay.
It'll be sunny again in a minute.
Yeah, it will. It absolutely will. That's why I'm keeping my glasses on the top of my head.
Okay.
All right. Just a little point. When we put wipers on, not every car is going to have automatic lights. If you look at your dashboard, left-hand side,
Are my lights on?
the lights have come on. But just remember,
Is that okay?
just remember, when it rains, it goes dull.
Okay, so then you put dipped headlights on? Getcha.
Okay. When you've got one of them on, you should have the other one on. That's how it works.
So on some cars, the left and right switch lights on separate like stalks or something?
I don't know what you mean, the left and right lights. Do you think the lights are on different sides? Are operated differently?
Is that what you're trying to say?
No.
Okay.
No. When you put the wipers on, put your lights on.
Okay.
Because it goes dull.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
All right. Should we get reversing?
Yes.
We're
No,
gonna
not
reverse.
yet.
But could you get prepared? Because you're sitting staring at these, and that sort of like you saying not yet is classic. I'm staring at them. Because now we should be moving.
Okay.
But you're not, because you're not ready to.
I should check that side last, shouldn't I? Because it's the most danger.
Good, well done. What about the oncoming cars now, though? Is it clear after the second one?
No.
No, so we'll sit and wait it out a second. Don't bother doing any observations.
Okay.
Because you're checking needlessly. You can just keep watching here and ahead, can't you?
Yeah, right. After this
Get checking now then. Is it going to be clear after this blue one?
Yes.
Good. Remember, we're reversing backwards, so we should be looking backwards. Hand at the top of the wheel maybe as well. Good. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Just go slow. Is this lady an issue yet?
No.
Are we going towards or away from the curb? Have a look in your right mirror. Go slower, Erin. Why stop though?
I don't know. I thought I was going to hit the curb. I'm going towards it, aren't I? So I need to point the wheel that way.
You can't tell if you stop.
Okay. But I was.
So you were going closer to the curb. Were you watching that gap?
Go smaller.
Is it going smaller?
Yeah.
You sure? Check around everywhere, and when we move again, are we good to go?
Yes.
Go on then. Move slowly and have a look at that space. Is it getting bigger or smaller? Or staying?
Staying.
So you weren't doing either. So you weren't really watching it. Stop now then for the silver one. Because you're staring at it and still reversing, Erin. What if that woman who's just walked past you walks behind you?
Okay.
Secure your car up a moment. Okay, relax. Okay, so there are a couple of little things there that we need to tweak a little. What were they?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. What did I say to you regarding moving?
Go slow.
Go slow. Originally, you sort of didn't, and you weren't watching what the space was doing, whether you were going towards or away from the curb. If I was a betting man, I'm not, but if I was a betting man, I would say you were just staring straight at the curb and nothing else. You weren't watching what your car was doing in relation to that curb. And that's why you had no clue whether you were going towards or away from it. And did you notice your reaction as soon as I asked you, what did you do?
Go away. Look at it.
You stopped.
Okay. Don't stop.
You can't stop and work out whether you're going towards or away from it. You have to keep moving. We've done this as well, haven't we, with the other reverses? Yeah. Okay, so those same sort of things apply. Do you also have a habit of sitting staring forward when you're going backwards? So when these cars were coming up at the end there, you were still reversing, staring at them.
That's an issue.
Told you the story about Liz's mum when I hit her bag, didn't I?
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing. Don't make my mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're reversing,
Look back.
backwards. Look backwards. Have we said to you about your seating position as well, to twist in your seat a little and maybe put your hand at the top and look backwards? Yeah.
I can do that. I see my dad do that all the time, actually.
So copy him then. All right. So just for a moment, change your seating position. So you twisted, move your bum over there in the seat a little bit. Go on. Dig your elbow in that seat bolster.
Yeah.
And now put your right hand at the top of the wheel. So therefore, with your right hand being there, you don't have to pull it down to move round at the back. You know exactly where straight is.
Top.
So if you keep your hand on that wheel at that point,
It will go straight.
it will go straight.
Unless I move it.
Unless you move it, unless you're going one way or the other anyway. So that's a better seating position because you're naturally now going to be looking that way more,
Okay.
which is what we need to do. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Should we have another quick go at reversing in a straight line?
Yeah.
Go on then. Have you just sat back straight again?
I did.
So wait there a second, take it out of gear. Relax your feet. Dig your elbow in that seat bolster and twist. Good. Now press the clutch. Now put it in reverse. So all that stuff that I've just explained, you went, yeah, in one ear, straight out the other. I'm doing my own thing.
Okay.
Yeah? Good. Are we good to go? Go on then, start creeping with your feet. Are we good to move?
Yeah.
Now, go very slow and have a look. Go slower than this, Erin. Go slower. Have a look in your right mirror Are we going towards or away from the curb?
Stay in.
You're not. You're going towards Erin. Now you've stopped.
Was I not meant to?
No. Put your handbrake on a second and take it out of gear. First of all, you go too fast. Okay. Secondly, all right, that hand still pulled you over there.
Which means I'm gripping.
We were going straight, and your hand pulled you over that way. You have to relax your grip. If you go slower, it's going to give you more time to look at everything. The speed that you were going there wasn't particularly fast, but it was too fast for your level of observations. If you go at a set speed, you're going at 2 miles an hour down the road. If you don't have time to watch this van, behind my fat head, over there, out the back,
I'm going too fast.
And your right mirror, you're going too quick. And you go too quick for the speed that you look at and the skills that you've got with this at the moment. You need to just creep so you can take in everything.
Okay.
Does that make sense? But you must watch the space. It takes you too long to work out whether you're going towards or away from the curb. We've travelled all that distance there and you only just realised, well, 3/4 of the way through, that you were going towards the curb, and I had to really tell you that we were going closer. You need to do that for yourself. Look at the size of this curb that's next to us as well, Erin.
Quite big, isn't it?
Absolutely. Do you think that's going to make a mess of your wheels and your car? Absolutely. Yeah. You have to take a little bit more responsibility to get this stuff done safely yourself. All right? Let's have another go. Let's try and go slower.
I'm not straight at the minute, am I?
And you're again saying this while you're stopped.
Okay.
Your mindset needs to change, and that stubbornness of your mindset is a battle that I'm always battling with. If you think about it, you're obsessed again, even on that statement, with where you're pointing, not where you're going. You have to move. Let's give it a go.
Ooh, okay.
No reason to be nervous, Erin. All right? All right, put your right hand at the top of the wheel where 12 o'clock is at the steering wheel. No. Put your hand
there.
Yes, so therefore you'll know when it's right. Is it clear after this car for a bit?
Yeah.
Is there anyone walking, anyone coming the opposite way? No? Should we go then? Move slowly then.
This car's coming.
You're staring at them. Look at the space, Erin. Have a quick look. Are we going towards or away from the curb as we move slowly?
Towards.
Look at the back of the car.
Away.
Look at the front. Stop a second. You're obsessed with staring at these. Put your handbrake on. Take it out of gear. You're just guessing whether you're going towards or away. You're not looking yourself.
The back's definitely going like out, so we're going towards.
Are you looking at angles again?
I am looking at angles.
Which is exactly what I'm talking about. It's a battle for me to get you thinking of these things in the correct way. You saw the cars coming far beyond that car with its door open. Look at that space, Erin. Have we got time to move if those cars are far beyond those parked ones? But you were obsessing with them and not what you were doing. Yeah? Come on, trust me with it as well, because every single thing that I'm doing here is trying to help you get through it. But, like I said, the stubbornness of that mindset is so hard to get away from sometimes. But you've got to work harder at getting away from instinct and doing these things that I'm trying to help you to do. All right?
Yes.
Do you understand where I'm coming from regarding putting your hand here?
Yeah, because then straight would be when my hand's hit.
Done. And also, try and time your movements to when the gap is arriving.
Okay.
You let the gap arrive. For example, with this red car, you will wait till the red car is next to us before you even think about starting moving your feet. Which again says to me that you're just staring at the red car. Yeah? You've got to change track. Let's have another little go. Good, well done. Is there any little room to go? Is there anyone behind us? We good?
Yeah.
Come on, get your feet working. And go very slow. And make an assessment whether we're going towards or away. You got to look into the distance in that mirror. So look far up the road. Look at the back of the car. It's going away. Just fix it then. Fix it then. Fix it then. Fix it then. Good. Is this red car ahead of us an issue as yet?
No.
No, it's going to be when though?
Now.
So quick look in your right mirror. Are we going towards it?
Going away from it. Not well, no, I can't tell you when I'm stopped.
No. And you tend to still look on the floor and not pick your eyes up at the back. Is that mirror set okay as well, Erin? Put your handbrake on and take it out of gear a moment. Because you should be able to sit from your seating position instantly and see where the back of the car is in relation to the curb.
I can see the black car in the distance parked behind us.
Super. How come you're leaning across then? Are you trying to look at the floor as you're doing it?
I must be. When I'm like that, I can't see the black car.
Okay.
Does that mean it needs to go up a bit?
No, it might need to come in a little. Which one are you moving, Erin? Were you moving that one?
I was. Ah.
So your mirror wasn't quite correct, was it?
No, I still think it needs... I can see it now.
Okay, now.
The white one that's just parked behind it.
Alright, super.
I need to fix the other one now.
Super. Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, super. Should we have another little go at reverse in a straight line?
See.
Good, go for it. Get prepped, Erin, even though there's a couple of vehicles coming, so you're ready to go. So you know where your hand is. Is this guy walking up the pavement going to be any issue to you?
He possibly could be, but I don't think he's going to plan on coming out in the park.
Where he's walking is not so bad. Is it clear to move?
Yes.
Go slow. Assess quite early what we're doing with the curb. Back of the car, is it going in or out? Move your car very slowly. Just going slightly in. So fix it. Is this car coming ahead of us a problem now? Stop. Check around everywhere again. Good. And move again. On we go with what we're doing. Is the back of the car going towards or away?
It's going slightly towards.
Steer away then a little. Good. Is there any issues? Are we okay reversing a straight line?
Yes.
Is it still keeping a reasonable gap from the curb?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Look out the back of the car.
It's slightly towards.
Look at the back of the car and come to a stop. Secure it up.
Finally, 10 steps later.
Better. That's better. Did you notice as well, because you did keep moving slowly and you were looking at the movement at the back of the car, ding, goes straight in and sorts it. So it's a tough time sometimes to get away from instinct, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. But the face that you're pulling now is lovely for me, because it shows you that, oh God, yeah, I do know how to do that.
Yeah.
Getting away from instinct, though, is the key, isn't it? Everything that your brain tells you to do in certain scenarios is the opposite of actually what you need to do, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. But good work. We're going to leave that there for now. We're going to then rejoin the traffic.
Okay.
All right. I think you can do this comfortably. Mm-hmm. It has to obviously be clear from
both
this way
sides.
and this side. Okay, make sure you don't cause any inconvenience.
Don't put the signal on until it's going to be clear.
Yeah, else if you had the left signal on now, what would this bluey purpley?
I think I'm going to go straight away.
And we're not.
And we're not going to wait for it, because ideally after that blue one gone, it would have been an ideal time.
Very good. Super.
But now there's a car.
All right, and don't forget which blind spot is the important one here.
Over your shoulder.
Good, behind me.
So start my way and work clockwise.
Good. Do you really need to check that side? If you feel as though you really want a little right mirror check, yeah, but a blind spot, no.
No, just like around
there,
surrounding areas.
But this side's the key. I'm going to leave it to you to move back off again though, Erin.
After this van. Oh no. Alright.
Yeah, good. What are you waiting for, Erin?
Nothing. I'm gonna go.
just needed to do it
quicker.
with a little bit more gusto. Yeah, get on with it a little bit more. Okay, so where we got you to parking on the right before was an ideal scenario like there is now. There's a dedicated parking area, but
I like on a two-way road that isn't a designated parking
would you be
area.
able to do it here?
Yeah.
You absolutely would. It's
You
not a
just need to wait.
designated park. Yeah, you would, and you'd have to pick a gap, wouldn't you? Okay, so that road wouldn't be an issue. It would obviously need to be not near a junction or an entrance or a house or stuff like that, but on your test it's generally going to be where there's a tall continued piece of curb all the way down. Okay, we're going to get to the lights and turn left, please. So we're just going to look for a little.
I shouldn't.
You have to be listening to that engine. Yeah, we're going to be looking for a little on places where we could or couldn't park next to the curb on the right. No handbrake, no.
No handbrake. Gotcha.
Good.
So the person behind me is going right because he's positioned to the right.
Very good.
Presumably. Push. Straight ahead.
I don't think it's going to be long, is it?
No.
Where could cyclists be catching us?
From the left.
So make sure you check. You still don't pay anywhere near enough attention to around where you're going. Yeah? Look around. Well done. That's very good. Is the old lady with the pram
She
or with
could be
a
a
pram
problem.
with the shopping pusher a problem?
No.
Is the bus going to be an issue?
It could pull out, but
So what do you think you should do with your speed
slow
then?
down.
What should we do for the bus?
There you go.
Very good.
Should I turn that down a gear?
No, it was just okay, but even you asking the question shows that your ears aren't still tuned in to what's required. It was just okay, yeah? Just winning the lottery is okay, just getting that final number, isn't it? So just is okay. But being in charge of it, being in control of it, know whether it's just going to be okay or not. Would you obviously park next to the curb on the right on this situation?
Double yellow line.
No, and it's a dual carriageway as well, Erin, so no, you wouldn't. Hold on. We're just going to follow the road ahead as well. Who's to our right?
The man.
You're trying to get out of the way of them, Erin. That's way too late getting around that Mini.
Okay.
Way too late. Are you trying to get out of the way of them?
No.
Because you're quite close and there's a van parked a bit further out, a bit further
So
up.
try to stay in the right hand lane.
Maybe. Alright, but when the car's finished, do you need to?
No.
Planning needs to be further. Yeah, and all you've done is pointed in. You've got to plan further up the road. There's that instinct to looking at that space in front of you. Yeah, come on. Okay. Good. Nicely done. Probably the wrong time for the gear change coming up to the lights, but we are going to take the next left as well, please, Erin. Use your brake and listen. Very good. Should you try and look now? Around, not down. What's it like up there?
Good.
Good.
So why aren't I going?
Bit smooth. How are you going to plan this next car coming the other way out?
No, go slow.
Is there anyone after it?
No.
Therefore,
Go.
you're fine, aren't you? You have to not just look at the first one you see. Now, if we were parking on this road on the right,
You can,
well done, good.
but obviously not when the traffic's coming.
That would have been a good space probably in there if there hadn't have been vehicles coming the other way. Can you tell me the next space where we probably could be parking next to a curb on the right?
None of there, so I'd say after the crossing, after the paved path, sorry.
Okay.
Or maybe there, could have done.
No, not really.
Not here.
Not here, why?
Because you're near a thingy.
There's bus stops.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you were thinking of the junction, but yeah, there was probably a little earlier space. That's
Behind
not
this blue
probably big enough to get in and then reverse for the
this
sake
car.
of your test.
No, we're here.
Well done. Would there be room before the white one parked up there
Yeah.
by the tree? I think there would, wouldn't there?
Not
Yeah,
a drop curb.
yeah. But you'd have to be careful of any signal that you put on. Wouldn't be misleading to go into there.
Oh, there is a drop curb there though.
Yeah. So you just probably could have got in, but not reversed back too far. Okay. Well done. When's the space, Erin?
After the other one.
What are you doing about it?
Gonna.
Stop. First gear, you're not doing anything about it. And you're late going and you're close in again. Yeah? Come on. Yeah, think about what we've talked about. We talked about that earlier. Yeah? Yeah, gear, good. Traffic lights, turn right, please. You still stare at the car coming towards you, don't you? Yeah? You have to change track with that now. If you want to progress with this driving and get to where you need to be, you have to get through this now. It's really important. You did very little with your car because you were just locked onto that one coming the other way. Plan this out now. Who's coming far the other way?
No one.
Get second gear in now. Good. No one coming far the other way?
No.
Therefore,
Okay.
what lane are you going to pick up in your road? Good job. Did you know who was next to you to steer around that puddle?
No.
So how's the risk with that situation then?
High.
Yeah, it's very high. You cannot just steer away from stuff, Erin. You have to be aware, you have to plan things out, you cannot just react. Okay? Traffic lights will turn left, please. It's not the little entrance to the shops, it's the main lights. Okay? Check right. Didn't check right well enough there, Erin. It's a give way. You've got to check as you're coming in. Yeah? Or maybe if you'd got your gear prior to the actual first corner, you could have then spent your observational stuff looking where you needed to. Right? Come on, plan things. We're going to be taking the road on the right before the playing fields with the van with the ladders on top's coming out.
Where that other car just did.
Okay.
Is it?
see where you go?
Yeah.
Do you need to stop here?
Nope.
Where do you go then, Erin?
Here.
That's got a right turn arrow on. First gear, Erin. Come on. Stop. Now what should we do?
Go.
Didn't do much there, Erin, did you?
Nope.
Why?
Because I was too busy trying to focus on where we're going.
We're going to find somewhere safe and park next to the curb on the right at some point, please.
Okay. After this,
What position could you take up? Well done. What should we do? Yes, good. I thought that was very good and well needed as well with the car that was catching you behind. Well done. Good job. Roll for long until you feel as though you're close enough and straight enough. Got it? Good. Secure your car. Alright. Relax. What about that last right turn?
horrible.
Why?
Because I didn't do anything to prepare.
Why did you sort of like, just for a second, Erin, we've got our dipped headlights on, parked on this side, the face towards traffic. Can you see the button for side lights? Down, see it's on auto at the moment. Right, that's pressing auto, we'll keep it on auto.
I thought just turn it off.
Okay, that's dipped beam, it's not that one. See this symbol? The two at the side lights, perfect. Okay with that? Because now our lights aren't shining in the eyes of this red one.
Okay.
Does that make sense? But just going back to the junction back there, it was just a right turn, Erin, wasn't it? What about the boxes on the road?
Can't stop in the crossed ones, but then there was a right hand lane.
And then who'd you give way to?
Oncoming traffic. Apart from the girl that let us go.
So in the end, what was it really like?
Not bad.
You talk yourself out of things sometimes before you give yourself a chance to look, and that's the scenario that we discussed at the start, that you have to trust your observations and let your observations get you through that junction, and they didn't. I had to get involved quite a lot. Alright, come on, change track with it. Change that stubbornness of mindset. I know you're not doing it on purpose, it's instinct, it's difficult, but there's only so much I can do to encourage you to do it. You're going to have to step up and do this for yourself at some point. Yeah? Okay. Very good little park. Did you get what I was talking about regarding how important it was to position when we were positioning? What do you think that was maybe showing the cars behind?
That we were going to go
right somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you timed your right signal past that junction brilliantly. And I thought it was well needed because that one was coming up behind, it was catching. What do you think it possibly could have done?
slow down. Oh, overtake us on the left.
Not on the left. As it was coming up to us, if you hadn't done what you did, position, signal at the correct time, do you think it maybe would have tried to
Overtook on the
overtake?
right.
Just as we're trying to move.
Right.
So what you were doing there had to be based on your surroundings and what was going on. Okay, that's why it's very important to signal to your surroundings, not just get into a habit of just putting them on. It's very important. Your park was excellent, well done. Reverse this away a couple of car lengths.
It's going to be okay.
It is going to be okay. What do you think? Is there any little spaces that we can go?
After this one coming towards us.
Is it clear everywhere else? Are you getting your feet ready?
Yeah. Clutch is down, the foot's on the accelerator.
Hold on, when are you going to get going then?
After this one's just passed us now. Oh no, should I wait for the other car to come up? Oh no.
Know what's going on. Try not to stare at the cars, Erin. Look for when the space is going to arrive. When's your space going to arrive? So check around everywhere now. Get your feet working now then. And are you okay dealing with the curb? What are you looking like? Towards, away, staying?
Staying.
Anyone around?
No.
Be okay continuing then?
Yeah.
Is it clear behind us? Is this silver one a problem yet? This white one is. Good. Still would like you to reverse another few feet, so when you get a chance to resume.
We're going, no, I'm not going to see it.
You should have been moving.
Do you reckon?
Yes.
Okay.
Know when your gap's arriving and able to utilise those gaps and spaces.
After this... Oh.
Handbrake should be on now. The handbrake should be on now. Just keeps us safe from rolling.
Shall I wait for him to go right?
What's he doing at the moment?
Stopped, so I could have done it then. Right.
Okay, good. The gap's still good from the curb.
Yep.
So therefore you don't need to move your wheel. Keep looking around, watching. Anyone around?
No.
Any cyclists coming down your side?
No.
No? Good.
Oh,
Well
we're going slightly in, aren't we?
Let's fix it then. No, that'll make you go more in, won't it? Good. Has that fixed it yet?
Yeah.
Good. Stop us just there. Alright, good. Secure your car up. Relax. That was pretty good.
The only
Well
thing
done.
was waiting for the gap. I could have went in a few times.
Yes, and that's because you still stare at people or hazards
Rather than the gap.
rather than spaces.
Yeah.
Alright, and that's that instinct that we've been trying to battle against, but pretty good job. Well done. We can drive on again. Just before you move, press the auto headlight switch.
Before I move.
Just before you move.
Okay.
Okay? Or if you saw that there was no one around that it would affect, you could use it. Good. Nice job. Does that make sense to you regarding your headlights as well?
Yeah. Oh, God, Erin.
Get your steering fixed first. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Get down to the end of this road, turn left, and then drive back to ours.
Okay.
Okay?
See me.
Good. It's a lovely thought, that as well, seen me. Yeah? Good. This is danger.
This is danger.
And you were way too close to it. You're trying to avoid the speed bump.
Actually, what I was... Honestly, the thought in my head was to take the position from the left.
But you weren't, because you weren't really taking, you would just go into the left. Going to the left and take your position from left is different. Why? How far away from these vehicles do we need to be?
The car width, door thing.
Door width, yeah.
I was to them once. Not to
See
the
where I'm
other
coming
one.
from?
Yeah.
Yeah?
End of this road, so this is the end of the road.
Correct, well done. Excellent.
Where will we come out?
Um,
Well, I know where we are.
yeah,
Yeah.
the road where the hospital is on.
Okay.
So we'll turn left at the end here, drive past hospital, and you know where you're off from there. All good.
Thank you.
Yep, thank them as well. Good. You can't see it there. Slide your hand to the top and just do that.
Okay.
So sort of like cup the wheel and just do that if you wish to keep your hands near the wheel. Excellent, well done.
Go, go.
Looking forward doesn't tell you what to do, Erin. You're very close to my curb on the left.
Ah.
You didn't think about the gear, you didn't listen to your gear on the way in, right?
Otherwise that would have been smooth.
Yeah, it still was pretty smooth, but I think that was just luck that you were able to get it going in second gear.
I honestly forgot about the gear.
Like, you did, I know.
Yeah.
And that's that listening skill coming in that you got to try and work with as well. How did you find the pull up and park on the right today?
It was okay, apart from the reversing bit.
But even the reversing part, that last go that you've done, you've done a good job with it. You've improved nicely with it. Not much planning. Yeah?
Okay.
You know how to plan like that as well, Erin. And it's the lack of planning. What should you be doing with your speed, Erin?
Going.
But you're not. And look what's caused that. They got fed up with you because you didn't go. How many times have we driven down that road and I said to you, it's not about steering, it's about speed? How many times?
Count them.
I can't count them. I've lost count. Sound. So the point is, unless you get doing the things that I'm asking you to do, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck where you are. Yeah? You've got to work harder at changing track now. No clutch. No, didn't need it. Didn't need it. Listen to your engine. Now, do we need to change speed? No. Stay in your correct position and just drive. Would it be okay to go up into third? It needs it. Go for it. Perfect. Yeah? You have to keep aware of that, but it's not steering. Change track, because that's a broken record there, me saying that, isn't it? Come on. You know where you're going up ahead. Listen. How much brake? Good.
Go.
Drive again then, Erin. That's fine now. How sharp's your corner? Why did I have to press the brake pedal? You had no idea how sharp it was because you were just looking down over the front. Come on. Leave the clutch. Does it need it really? No. Got to tune your ears into what's going on. What's it sound like, Erin?
Do the gear.
Go for it. Come on. Get your mind on the job. Don't let your mind go on to something else and something different. Come on. Okay. Secure your car.
I'm over the thing, aren't I, though?
Secure your car. Okay, plan. What's happening with the junction? We'll have a go about it in a sec. You're watching around. See the green light over there to the middle, just above where the people are walking?
Yeah.
So we're not going just yet. Now we may do. Yes, you should have stopped before the line. Yes, we are over. Okay? Have a go about it in a sec. It's not a problem. So in hindsight, do you think you should have stopped there? No, if you can't stop before the advanced stop line, that's what you use the amber for. Okay, you could have stopped though if you were planning it properly. Braking still too late, Erin. Come on. Not the floor, look further. Does that make sense to you about the traffic lights. If you go over those lines, what can be the issue with it as well?
What do you mean?
If you go over those lines that you stopped over, what?
Pedestrians.
Good. What made you not know how sharp the corner was on the one before?
Didn't look.
What was that one like?
Okay.
Good. Yeah, they're letting you go, aren't they?
There's another one coming out. Where should I go?
What do you think?
In here.
Don't need to go in if there's a space there. Don't need to go in if there's a space there. Assess it. Assess it. Happy now? Good. Go on then. Thank you, Audi. I got on that you were nice.
He was nice. The other guy wasn't. I just sped down. It needs a gear, I know.
Get it then. What are you waiting for? Your hand was doing nothing. You weren't steering. Yeah?
Yeah. How come he saw both of them waiting for me but didn't wait?
I don't think they were aware enough, to be honest. I don't think they were planned enough.
Will I get round this corner? I think so.
Hopefully. Just be ready to change if required, if needed. What if a car came?
We'd be able to stop.
Good. Follow the shape of things. I always have to push you away from things on this estate because you get tired and then you look forward over the front. Follow the shape of the road and move your hands accordingly.
That was a nice tree.
That was good. Well done. Nice. Good. Well done. Nice junction. Second. Don't like gears, do you? You need to be careful of here.
Cars.
Not just the brake. Listen. Just point towards the silver one so we can both get out. Stay this way a little bit. That'll do nicely. Good, secure it up. Good, just relax. We're going to leave the car on just for a moment, just so the aircon stays
Okay.
on. In fact, no, we're alright. It's not too bad. Turn it off a second. Relax. Alright. How do you feel as though you got on today? I'm going to fill my
5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Interesting.
Or a 6, so I achieved something.
Okay. I'm going to get my lesson tracker out. Right. So, where are we? Okay. So what do you feel as though you achieved today? What should I be typing down, do you think?
Parking up on the right.
Yeah, definitely.
And reversing.
Pull up on the right. Anything that you had to sort of work with that, with the reversing part?
Looking in the mirror to check the gap.
Yeah, reverse, we were saying about
Timing
yeah.
as well.
Go on. What are you talking about?
Time in the gap, like knowing when to go.
Okay, I agree. I'm just typing gap when moving, not when you stopped. Plan. Also gaps in traffic. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
That's what you really were explaining, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I agree. anything else about that pull up and park on the right and reversing?
No.
I thought you actually did that pretty well. I thought that was good. What else? What else have we been working on today?
Observations, but they still need work, so that's something to improve on.
What bits are areas to improve then, do you think? I think it's normal Erin things. I think, honestly, it is, isn't
Paste
it?
it from last lesson.
Right, areas to improve. So, I know it sounds, I'm not being snarky or anything, but normal. Was that shutting down again? Normal Erin things. No problems. Which are what?
Looking at the bonnet, looking down.
Yeah. Those.
I think the positioning was a bit better today.
Yeah, I agree. You can do all of these things.
You can.
And that's the key. You can do all of these things, but it tends to drop off a little in certain scenarios. That right turn that you got yourself in a little bit of a fizz with. And there was, in hindsight, there was no need to, was there?
No.
And you do that quite consistently, that you sort of talk yourself and worry yourself out of things before you give yourself a chance to actually do it. Alright? How are we going to improve those things? Practice and confidence. It's a tough one at the minute though, isn't it, to get you away from, we were just saying down near the hospital there, it's like a broken record, isn't it? You know what to do, but instinct just sort of like gets in the way a little. But you are within touching distance of doing all of this, Erin, you know. Yeah, you really are. Those things that do cause you problems, once that little switch is just pressed in your head, you'll just be like off and gone.
Yeah.
I'm trying different things to sort of like push that switch in your head. Today, how have I been in the car? What's my sort of like demeanour been like today? How have I been today?
You don't have to do much.
No, and I've not been too hard on you either.
No.
But there's other times where I do give you a bit of a push to try and sort of like push that correct button. What would you say is the best way that I can be to get you out of this? Do you think if I'm really sort of like laid back and easy, you're gonna...
I say middle ground.
Middle ground. Do you think changing it sometimes sort of like helps as well? So some lessons be a bit tough and a bit snarky, not snarky, but a bit more direct, and then other times take a little bit of a step back.
Yeah. Because
sometimes if you do the same thing all the way through, it doesn't then put the onus on you to go off and do it. Alright? But nearly there, Erin. I mean that as well. There's most of that driving that we did then that you can do, but it's just making certain that you're just doing it yourself now. So well done with that today. Happy?
Happy.
What do you want to do next time, do you think?
I don't know.
Not sure?
No.
I think it's just concentrating on the Erin bits, as we call them.
Yeah.
Alright.
Let's go a typical route that we usually go.
Okay. No worries. Happy? Are you busy next week as well? You got loads on?
I don't even know.
Don't even know. I know you've had a mad one. Alright, we'll leave it there. We will sort that out. Well done. Good effort.